Hello, welcome to the Geeks Handbag. I'm in Liverpool today and I'm going to go to the new Doctor Who exhibition called The Worlds of Wonder, so let's go! So after you said hi to the gold Dalek downstairs, you enter the exhibition through the TARDIS doors, where you come face to face with the First Doctor's console. Also used by the Second and Third Doctor and seen in An Adventure in Space and Time, I absolutely adore this console. Last time I saw this, it was in the Doctor Who experience, and of course it was also used in Twice Upon a Time. It's a thing of beauty. I just love all the quirky switches and buttons on it. There's something really magical about the TARDIS console, and it's great to see this one back on display again. And before you move on, be sure to check the radiation meter. Oh dear. Just behind the beautiful console, you'll see a mural on the wall of the Doctors, from the First Doctor up to the Fugitive Doctor. And so onward into the next room, where we find some familiar friends and foes, and I really like these lit up platforms that the props are displayed on. So we've got our old friend the Scovox Blitzer from the 12th Doctor story The Caretaker. There's K9, I do love that tin dog. And one of my favourites, the K1 robot from Tom Baker's debut story Robot. I think the design of this is iconic, although I know actor Michael Kilgara found the costume very uncomfortable to wear. And next to the K1 we've got some more familiar faces, including a Clockwork Android, the Host, a Vok robot, hey Handles, great to see him again, and Half-Face Man. It's great to see these heads up close, the detail is fantastic. In the corner of the room there's a couple of glass cabinets, and in the first one you'll find a selection of sonic screwdrivers. The Third Doctor's Sonic is my favourite. In the second cabinet we've got things like the Zygon DNA detector, the sonic shades, the glasses from the TV movie, and a couple of confession dials amongst other things. I'm loving it, it's really, really cool. And before leaving this room to go into the next, you'll also pass by the creature from the 11th Doctor story Hyde, lurking in the corner of the room. Then you'll pass some TARDIS hexagonal things before you're confronted by Omega from the 5th Doctor story Arc of Infinity. A strange story, and Omega's quite an imposing figure, isn't he? This outfit is so different from the one he wears in the Three Doctors. In fact, as a kid, the look of it really freaked me out. Over the years, I've really grown to like this design. Absolutely loving the exhibition, because obviously we all miss the Doctor Who experience at Cardiff, and just to be around the Doctor Who props again, from the classic series to the new series, it's just really good. I love it. Then we have a cabinet of cool looking spacesuits, and opposite that we have another cabinet displaying some of the models used in the series. They've got the modulator here so you can make yourself sound like a Dalek, so what shall I say? Unlimited rice pudding. Unlimited rice pudding. Well, maybe I'll leave it to Nick Briggs. Then we say hello to Gadget from the epic 10th Doctor story The Waters of Mars, one of my all-time favourite stories. Gadget, Gadget. And then there's the TARDIS, and this looks like the 13th Doctor exterior to me. A thing that looks like a police box standing in a junkyard. It can move anywhere in time and space. The Fisher King from the 12th Doctor two-parter Under the Lake Before the Flood. And then possibly my favourite room in the whole exhibition, just full of iconic monsters and villains. Classic Ice Warrior there, standing next to the Ice Queen Araxa. On the next plinth we got a collection of monsters from the modern era, as well as some of those that have been updated from the classic era. A Sea Devil, as we saw them in Legend of the Sea Devils. They are one of my all-time favourite Doctor Who monsters. A classic Silurian, as seen in the 5th Doctor story Warriors of the Deep, and I have to say I much prefer this design to the one we got when they returned in the modern era. A Sontaran soldier, and I wonder who's under the helmet. It could be General Skak for all we know. And above the Sontaran we've got the Scary Silence, which is strange because I don't remember seeing them. And to the left there you can also see a Dreg from the 13th Doctor story Orphan 55. Moving around the room, and you've got Davros next to what looks like one of the early designs of the Daleks from possibly the Hartnell or Troughton era. And then we got some Cybers, and as well as the Cyber Controller, I just love this display of some of the many different designs of Cybermen we've had over the years. It's near enough impossible for me to try and pick a favourite out of these designs because I love them all, particularly the Mondasian one, but I also love the 80s Cybermen because that was my era. So a fantastic display, and on the way out I also bumped into an old friend from the Doctor Who Experience days. Without doubt, one of the most popular things in the exhibition was this cabinet of heads. Pretty creepy, scary looking things really. So let's see how many you can name. There's the Ood, not sure about the one on the right, Pig Slave, Waters of Mars, Jabe, the Half and the Whispermen, and I'm not sure about the thing in the jar. And then we dive into the Forest of the Night, and it's great to see Capaldi getting a bit of recognition because I think he was an awesome Doctor. Then we find the Teller in between a giant spider and a Dalek mutant blob. He was an interesting looking character. Why do I feel like he's reading my mind? And here's Carbonista from Flux, and goodness only knows what's happened to his head. Maybe it's under that hat. And then we're into our final room. So we've got a robot from the episode Smile, some scarily realistic heads of Nardal and Hydroflax, the Tesselector, the Kablam Man, looking very smart there in his suit, the Morbius creature from the Brain of Morbius. I absolutely love that story, so great to see him in here. And finally, a cat person. I think that's Novice Haim. And then, of course, there's Lady Cassandra, who's always got something to say.
Marvellously useful and thin I am. I admit I wasn't always so striking. Long ago, I was like you, all lumps and bumps and curves and cheekbones. Just another face in the crowd.
And finally, our old friend, the face of Bo, and he's certainly looking a lot better than the last time I saw him at the Doctor Who Experience, whereas I was falling out. And so, having told Lady Cassandra there was no moisturiser left, it was time to jump in the TARDIS and go to the gift shop. Being a temporary exhibition meant there wasn't a great deal of merchandise available in the shop, but there were still a few nice things to pick up, some nice prints and mugs and bobblehead Daleks. Don't need any more of those, thank you very much. There were some books, most of which I think I've already got. A lot of this merch has been kicking around for a while, like the Eagle Moss figures and 13th Doctor board game, but there was some exclusive merchandise in the shop which included things like t-shirts, mugs, magnets, badges, key rings, as well as tote bags, all of which featured the Worlds of Wonder branding on, which was nice. And of course, what Doctor Who gift shop would be complete without some jelly babies? And with that, we'd reached the end of Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder. So there you are, and I really enjoyed walking around the exhibition. There's a great mix of props from the classic era of Doctor Who right up to the more modern era, and there's plenty of things to look at and learn. It's worth going around a couple of times actually, because there's things I nearly missed, like the Dalek voice changer. So if you're in Liverpool and you're a Doctor Who fan and you get a chance to go, I definitely recommend it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do check out the Geek Sandbag on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and don't forget I also do that weekly Doctor Who podcast with Gary that gets every Friday called the Big Blue Box Podcast, so do give that a listen. Until the next time though, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.